Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to just talk about the future of racing on console and just how good it looks, honestly. Um, so to start out right off the bat, Motorsports Games, they had the license for TOCA, NASCAR, and Indy, and they have lost all of those licenses. It looks like the company is going bankrupt or went bankrupt. It's in really bad shape. Lost all those licenses. It looks like that they won't be doing any of those games. With NASCAR, anyway, apparently they have the license up until 2024, so they will be still, I guess, developing their game for 2024. I don't think they're going to bring anything more to the game that they have out. But the good news is iRacing did get the NASCAR license, and they announced a sim-like NASCAR title coming to consoles in 2025. That game will be out on console and PC, of course. But for us console players, that's really good news. From everything I hear, iRacing does NASCAR really well, and they've claimed that they're going to tick all the boxes that NASCAR fans want. For example, career mode, online racing, tracks, cars, all that good stuff. Now, what good is a game like that if it doesn't look good and more importantly, it doesn't feel good? Because although yes, I am a sucker for good graphics with gaming in general, with racing games and any driving game, the driving has to be the star of the show. The physics have to be good, the driving has to feel good. It's got to be fun. I feel like it's got to make you feel like a rock star in these games. So, iRacing, they bought Monster Games, which made the first four NASCAR Heat titles, and they also made World of Outlaws. That it's a dirt track iRacing game for console. That game, needless to say, has 4.6 out of 5-star rating on the PS Store. I'm not really into like Outlaws, dirt track racing like that, so I wouldn't play it. It's really not my thing. But I mean, 4.6 out of 5 stars on the PlayStation Store, that seems pretty good to me. Um, I'm assuming that their NASCAR game will be released on the Monster Games. That they'll be the developer doing it. So I have no idea what that's going to look like. I have no idea what that means. If you guys played that game, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought of it. If it was a decent game, and more importantly, what was the handling model like? Was it decent or what? So that brings me to another question, guys. What do you think about exclusivity deals in licensing? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Drop that in the comments as well. Personally, me, I don't think it's a good idea because I think competition, especially in gaming, is great. It's what pushes everything forward. We see that with F1 games. They own the exclusivity to F1 for racing titles anyway. So there's no competition. So why do they really have to change anything? Why do they have to make the game any better than what it is when it's literally your only option? And when I say your only option, I mean for that type of F1 racing game with the career mode, it has all of the tracks on the calendar, it has all the teams, all the cars, all of the racers and everything like that, all the real drivers. I'm talking like that kind of experience. It's the only thing you can get like that. So they don't really have a big reason to push the game beyond what it is when it's your only option. While we're speaking about F1, I think it's pretty safe to say that the next game will probably be on Unreal Engine of some kind, considering Codemasters did the WRC game and that's an Unreal Engine 4. I can't imagine them doing the next F1 game and it's not an Unreal. I would have to think it's going to be an Unreal 5. I don't know why it wouldn't be. The WRC game I can kind of understand because that was probably in development before they got the Unreal Engine 5, uh, whatever they get the dev kit for it or whatever. So I can understand that. But considering the F1 games, they put them out every year. I'm pretty much thinking it's going to be an Unreal. Hopefully, it's an Unreal 5. Again, what is that going to mean? How's it going to look? How's it going to run? More importantly, again, how's it going to feel? And really, with that game, the career mode really needs a good update. The last big shakeup that game had was the My Team, which was fantastic, but they really need to do something different moving forward. They need to bring more to it. I think some of the stuff they put in WRC could work in F1, particularly making your own car. I don't see why we can't do that in F1. Have maybe 3 or 4 different chassis, and then have like maybe 5 or 6 different side pod designs, front nose, front wing, rear wing, stuff like that. Maybe even like have 5 or 6 different wheel styles that you could put in the car. And for the love of God, man, update the livery editor. I don't understand it. GT7 has an amazing livery editor. They have real brand names that you can put on the car. It's probably one of the best livery editors I've ever seen. F1, it's hard to believe that EA is as big as they are and they can't get a better livery editor and they can't get like regular real name sponsors and stuff like that you could put on your car. It's just kind of strange. So moving on to F1, let's talk about Assetto Corsa Competizione. So we're finally getting to Nordschleife and we're getting some new cars. Nordschleife has probably been one of the most asked for tracks in the game ever since it came out, but it was due to issues where the Real Racing Series didn't race there. I guess now it does, so they're going to put it in the game. We're supposed to get some new cars as well, GT2 cars, maybe some new GT3 cars. They haven't really talked too much about it. I don't know if it's going to be in one big DLC or it's going to be a couple. I would think it's going to be in one big one. And honestly, I would have to think that this is probably going to be the last DLC, the last hurrah for ACC, considering that Assetto Corsa 2 is going to be coming out later in 2024. So let's get into that a little bit. Assetto Corsa 2 is scheduled for late 2024, and my guess would be sometime in 2025 for consoles. They're not very quick at porting those games over. We don't really know anything about the game. We haven't seen any shots. We haven't heard really anything about it. Have no idea what the game is going to be about. It's not going to be in Unreal. They're going to have their own custom engine, so it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with that. I'm really hoping it's got a good single player experience. I highly doubt console will get any of the cool mods, so they really need to do something with that game to make it appeal to the console crowd as well, I feel. But as of right now, we just don't really know anything. And then I believe last but not least is Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. So this is kind of an interesting one because I don't know much about it. I've heard kind of mixed things. From what I've seen in the gameplay of it, it looks very arcadey to me. But then some people said that with the hands-on experience, they felt it was kind of a cross between Forza Horizon and GT7. So it had like the open world aspect of Forza Horizon, but they said the cars drove more similar to GT7. So that's going to be interesting. From the footage I seen, it looked like the cars were kind of smashing through telephone poles and guardrails and stuff like that. So it was very much on the arcade side, very much more similar to Forza Horizon and like the Crew Motorfest type of thing. That's the way I felt about that. An exact release date is yet to be confirmed, but Nacon Financial Document List, TDUSC Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is releasing in Q1 2024 with a February-March 2024 release window. So, yeah, that should be interesting. And other than that, guys, sim racing gear, it's that's starting to come along. We have Fnatic doing some pretty cool things, and including consoling for a change. We have 2 new direct drive bases. We have the CSDD and CSDD Plus, which is the PlayStation version. The CSDD is going to be 12 Newton meter, and the CSDD Plus is going to be 15 Newton meter. The DD Plus is $1,000. The CSDD is $699, I believe. Not cheap by any means, but it's a hobby, and it is what it is. Um, but other than that, guys, I think it's pretty promising. I think we have a lot to look forward to in the upcoming year or two, and those are the games that we know about. I imagine that we're going to hear a lot of things about games that we haven't heard about yet, and who knows what GT7 is going to do. I mean, they've just put in Sophie yet again. It's not on all tracks. I do feel like they have to implement that on all tracks. Possibly make that the main AI of the game. Maybe moving forward, that's something that they will do. But who knows? I think what it all comes down to is that on console anyway, the games they need to move away from last gen and they need to just focus on the current gen. And I think that's when games are really going to open up, and we're really going to see what these new consoles can do. So, guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.